Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be walking you through creating 7 days worth of content in Canva for Instagram. Now, this is what I do in my business and how I create content for Instagram using Canva. I try to do about 7 to 10 days of content so that I always have something ready to go. I'm going to walk you through creating the content in Canva, writing the captions also in Canva, and then putting it all into Later, which is the scheduler that I use for Instagram. And I also have a few Reels tips that are kind of sprinkled in so that you always have Reels content ready to go. Before we dive into the week of content, there are a few things that I do to prepare for when I actually sit down to create. First thing, content topics. I know the topics that I will be talking about in regards to my business because I have defined 3 categories that I want to be known for in the online space. And so those categories are content strategy, how to start your social media manager business, and lead generation strategies to sign clients. Those are the 3 things that I will talk about. Every single piece of my content is going to fall under one of those categories. The second thing, what am I promoting in my business? So is there a service? Is there a product? What am I promoting that week or what's coming up for me to kind of warm up my audience to? And so the content that I'm doing during this week, I am starting to promote my Product Suite Power course. So this course is here to help social media managers map out an entire product suite from your highest ticket offer and how to sell that to your freebie and how to generate leads and everything in between. So basically this course is here to help you bring your audience through that journey so that they are ready to work with you and pay for your highest ticket management service. Because that's why you're here. You wanna make that money, you wanna sell those services. So if you're interested in Product Suite Power, the link is down below. You can sign up to the wait list. And if you're on the wait list, you will get $100 off when that course goes live, which should be mid-October if you care. So without further ado, let's create some content. All right, so log into canva.com and get into your Instagram designs. So this is what my feed looks like right now. I highly recommend creating your grid. So I usually pick 9 templates that I really want to stick with. And I've been using the tile feed, which is having a graphic and an image alternating. And so all of the images that are in here right now have been posted. You can check out my Instagram feed to see them. And now I'm just adding in 7 tiles because I want 7 more pieces of content, and I will see how they will look on my feed. So this is the first thing I do. I go in, I lay out my feed, and so I know that I need to alternate images and graphics. So the first thing that I do is I get my images that I want into this grid. And so I do have stuff already saved. If you don't have photos of yourself or you don't know what photos you want to use, Canva has an excellent library of photos. And you can select through a lot of them. So this is me. I put in this photo of me holding a phone, but I realized the one that I posted prior also had a phone in it, which is why I have decided to switch it out with me on the laptop, because I really do think that having your face behind your brand really can help people connect with you and they get to see who you are and what you do, which is why I choose to have photos of myself. All the photos that I have taken of myself are on a tripod and on my iPhone. So I don't have a fancy camera that I use. I just use what's available to me. Next, I am obsessed with coffee. Since I'm obsessed with coffee, why should I not put it in my feed? Like, it's a part of my life. I absolutely love it. I am drinking an iced coffee while I record this YouTube video. So it kind of just goes hand in hand. And so this part is just getting the initial feed laid out. And then I will walk you through writing the captions and all of that. So let me do a little time lapse of me getting this all together. So the next step is the graphics, and I keep this as simple as possible. So I use the same format for my feed. And so I have 3 different topics like I talked about in the beginning of this. I do Canva tips, content strategy, lead generation, and helping you start a social media manager business. Those are the three umbrellas that I really want my business to be under. And so that is why I keep my feed very basic in terms of the aesthetic. Like, I want my feed to look aesthetic, so I use the same graphics, same color scheme, and it just makes it so much easier. I'm not really trying to reinvent the wheel. I know what I want to talk about. And see, I love this little diagram, and it has my brand colors. And so I can just copy this, paste it into my next week's content, and change up the topic. So last week I did business tips, and so this week I'm going to do lead generation, because that's something that I want to help social media managers learn, and how you can set up different ways of connecting with your clients through lead generation. And so my biggest piece of advice, and the one thing that I want to get across with this YouTube video, is that you can make content creation as simple as possible. I find that sometimes you feel like you're restarting, or you're reinventing the wheel, or you don't know what to post. And that's because sometimes it does get overwhelming, and maybe you aren't seeing the results you want with the previous content. So you're going to just do a 180 and start creating something completely brand new. And what that does is that you lose momentum that way. While I was in the throes of creating this, I created this graphic, and I knew what I wanted to write for my caption. So I hopped into the notes feature on Canva, which is at the very bottom of your screen. You can click on notes, and then this whole side panel pops up. And this is where I write all my captions. So I popped in this one right away because I'm somebody who kind of just goes with the flow, and I knew what I wanted to write for this caption. So I'm popping it in here so I don't forget. And I can always tweak it, add to it later. But I find that writing your captions in Canva is so helpful, because you're not moving screens, you're not getting out of that flow state. And so on every single one of these images, I will write the caption in the notes. And then what I do is I will copy and paste that into my scheduler, which I use later as the scheduler for Instagram. And I also use it a little bit for Pinterest, mainly Instagram, because it just makes it so much easier, and you're not going into different screens, or you're not having to put them in a Word document. I absolutely love it. And also for your clients, you can share this entire design with your clients. You can share it to them, you can send it to their email, they can open it up, they can read all the captions, and that's that. You don't have to add it to a Google Drive if you don't want to. You can, it's your prerogative, it's your systems. All right, so next I look at my grid and I see what I want this last graphic to look like. So I really like the iPhone graphic that I used up there. So you can find this iPhone graphic in your frames. So if you go over to Elements, then you're going to scroll down to the frames, and you'll see all. And then you can scroll down and you have the iPhone, there's the laptop, there's the computer. I really like these for social media managers because you can really showcase kind of what you're doing. But yeah, so this design, I'm going to show you kind of how I get inspiration in Canva, and I'll speed it up to create this whole graphic. So to get inspiration, I go up to the templates tab at the top, and then I type in phone because that's the graphic that I'm using. And now Canva has so many templates available. I personally don't use the exact templates because I want it to be my branding and work for my business. And so if I see something that I really like, I recreate it because I absolutely love content creation. So this one is the message graphic where you have your phone and there's a message that pops up. So here's a time lapse of me creating this entire graphic that it is the message, and I create it with all free elements. So if you want to try this, you totally can as well. So now that all my graphics are created, I am going in to write all of my captions. So since I've just finished creating this one, I already know what I want to write for this caption because it is an inspirational post. It is kind of a filler post, but I'm somebody who really wants to share absolutely every part of your business, because you do have to believe that you are worthy of the best case scenario in order to run a successful business. Because if you're constantly thinking that things aren't going to work out, this is actually in the caption, then it's not going to work out, because you have to know that it can work out. You are worthy of that best case scenario. So let's finish the rest of the captions, and then I'll show you the Reels hack that I do to make sure that I always have an aesthetic cover photo and I know what content needs to be created. So we'll finish up these captions and then I will start scheduling content. All right, so I've created 7 graphics and written 7 captions. Now the next thing is to schedule them. But here is my Instagram Reels hack. This is what I do, so I always have an aesthetic cover photo and I know what pieces of content are going to be Reels for the week. So I create a different Canva design that is the Instagram Reels size. So this is a completely different graphic. I'm just clicking over, I already have it open here. And so what I do is I create the cover photo for the feed posts that I know that I'm going to have Reels for. So this Canva tip one, I know for a fact is going to be a Reel. So I have created a copy. I am copy and pasting the title that I want to use for the week. And so that one's done. Now the other, I do this for every single one of feed posts that I want to be a Reel, because you can share your Reels to your feed. So I want to do the lead generation one, and I realize here that I didn't actually change the 3 things that I wanted on the graphic. So I will do that in a moment. So I copy and I paste it. You will have to resize it, but I do this because Instagram Reels, it sometimes cuts off or it zooms into your feed post if you put a feed as your cover photo. And so I recreate them, and then I'll show you how I schedule these so that I get a notification to post on Instagram Reels. So once you have all of your graphics done and you've resized them to your Reels, you can download the ones that you want to your desktop, and then we're going to upload them into your scheduler, which like I said, I use later. and then go over and download the feed posts, obviously the ones that are not on the Reels, because you're going to use the Reels one instead of the ones in here. I create it all in my feed post first so that I can see what my aesthetic looks like, and then I just quickly copy and paste them into the Reels size and then download them all to my desktop. And now we're going to schedule everything, and we are almost done our week of content. All right, so you're going to open up your downloads and you just drag and drop them in later, and they're going to appear on the side there. So those two were the Reels cover, and then the rest of the content is there. And so now everything is uploaded. So now I am ready to copy my captions and start scheduling my content. So this is, I mean, you have to go back and forth from screen to screen, but all the brink of the work is done. So for each of the graphics that you made, you can schedule them in, copy your caption, and for me, I usually save everything in here and then I go back and do my hashtags. If I know the hashtags that I want in the caption, I will do them right then and there, but I do like to change up my hashtags. There are a handful that I will always use, but on certain posts, especially since Instagram updated that they want the hashtags in the captions, I've been really focusing on trying to use niche specific hashtags and stuff that is really, really relevant to my captions so that everything is cohesive and it all makes sense. And so here I am just adding in some emojis and making it look all Instagram ready. But I will time lapse the rest of my content and I will show you how to do the Reels. So with the Instagram Reels graphics that we downloaded, you're just going to drag and drop it like a regular post and you're going to put it in there. So in later, it does give you a warning that this won't automatically post because it's not the right size for Instagram, which it's okay. Okay, don't worry, it's red, it's scary, but don't worry. So put in your caption. I'll come back and do the hashtags later, I'm pretty sure. But what you're going to do is at the top in later, it says auto publish on, and then it gives you a date and time. You're going to change auto publish to notify. Now, if you have the app on your phone, which I do, and I highly recommend you should have your app on your phone for your scheduler, it will give you a notification at the time of whatever you're scheduling at. So this one's scheduled at 8:30. I will get a notification at 8:30 to post this. And so the only thing left for me to do is to make sure that I have the reel ready to go inside Instagram in Reels. And I batch my Reels on a different day. So I make sure that since this is already scheduled, I know what I'm creating and I'll make sure that it's ready to go for me to post. So all that is left is to finish up the rest of the content, to schedule it and to put in my hashtags. But that is absolutely everything that I do to create a week of content with Canva and your scheduler. So you can do this with any of your schedulers that you have. I personally have used, obviously, Later, and then Planoly is also a really good scheduler. That is a wrap on the week of content. If you have any questions, please let me know down below. If you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys on Wednesday when my next video goes live. Bye!